guys, so we took one loss, one win today. Today was actually a only up day, and as always we make a quick trade breakdown. So right here you can see the daily chart as always. We start on the high time frame. Yeah, today was quite interesting. So we had a actually quite huge higher time frame gap right here. So new day opening gap to the downside, but basically ended up trading fully through it to the upside, and I was only looking at the quadrants of yesterday, or no, from Thursday's wick basically, so not yesterday but Thursday. And yeah, that's basically it. We cannot really have any different buys in here. We really have to depend on like yeah, only more short-term buys, because we're just trading within the range, and we cannot really say that we formed a top in here. So S&T is not enough for that, and yeah, we don't really have any clean buys actually. So with that we drop to the hourly chart. Right here you still have the quadrants of the daily wick, and also right here the price range from the high, from the low to high. So something what I was also like just looking at, and yeah. So with that we can also drop to a 50-minute chart. What's important right here, so basically what you can see right here is the 25,900 level. So we were definitely trading basically to the level right here, really delivering resistance to price higher. So it was actually a really important level, especially because right here we have a really huge balanced price range. So yeah, many candles just in a row, so it looks like a QR code, I don't know. High resistance to trade through it basically. Yeah, right here we have our higher time frame gap. Asia traded lower. London is basically the, or almost London is the low of the day, with an opening price right here, 830, 930, and from there we only traded higher. Actually not really a clean day to the upside, because there's not really a clean market maker buy model being in play right here. We do have the S&T within the New York open kill zone window, but in that case I don't really like that we did basically no damage to any clean liquidity in here. Still we can see how we formed a really clean low basically right here at the lower quadrant of the price range, so indicating higher prices. Not able basically to trade back to midnight opening price, but yeah, just trading away from it. And before we drop now lower to a 1-minute chart, I want to take a look on regular trading hours. So we opened up basically lower right here, 106 handles, and from there we only traded through it, and basically that already tells us that we will basically or most of the time follow that trend direction, and we have a only one direction day, in that case higher. Why? Because ideally we only want to see that we trade back to, or basically we don't have trending conditions, so we need for that 120 handles. But yeah, we really came close to the sell liquidity right here. Engineered sell liquidity did not take out basically the low right here, and therefore we basically kind of shifted our trend right here already. Still, I was looking maybe that we have a manipulation higher, only like sweep the buy sell liquidity right here, and from there on trade lower to the equal lows right here. So that was basically my thinking process. Also like because we still did not had trending conditions, only 106 handles. Yeah, still basically played out that we only traded higher, and which is actually quite interesting is the quadrants right here. And I think I will definitely after the video remove some of the quadrants, because it's definitely way too messy in here. But yeah, so back to NQ, to the 1-minute chart, what I was trading. Right here you can see my executions. I took basically one short right here. We need to go back to electronic trading hours, so that looks better. And so we had 10 AM high impact news today, so I was waiting basically for that. Delivered right here, traded higher, scrapped basically the wick right here. To me that's a short-term run on stops, and then closed lower. and unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but created a SMT. Still I went short. So I already planned what I was looking for in regular trading hours for the equal lows, and also like I like the fact that we basically swapped the buy side liquidity right here, and kind of already were really overbought. So we are really overextended above all opening prices, and we don't really have any market maker buy model being in play right here. So there's not really a clean liquidity sweep, sell side liquidity sweep, and we are also trading like into the higher time from PD array, and I really like the just displacement right here. So to me that would have been a really clean inversion fairway gap, and I wanted to see basically a retracement back to the opening price right here to 930. But we definitely have also a condition. So what is the condition? The condition is that we either will basically inverse the 5-minute suspension block right here, or we will use it as support, and from there on we know we will definitely trade higher because we have a only up day. So we have basically two options here. Either we basically inverse it, use it as resistance higher and trade lower, or we basically find support within the 5-minute suspension block and from there on trade higher. So yeah, and that's basically our two options. I really liked the fact that we could eventually seek sell liquidity. We were already overpriced. I prefer to look for shorts, especially because regular trading hours was kind of looking it was not really clean in that case that we would trade higher. Still, yeah, it's really fine to me that I got stopped right here. I think that's still a valid trade to take, just part of the game. If the price action would be a bit more different, for example, that the 5-minute gap is only right here, you could go break even after we trade into it. But in that case, we have to anticipate that we will inverse the 5-minute gap or use it as support. We ended up basically creating a SMT right here, and also sweeping on the 5-minute chart the candle wick right here, which basically did not happen since the SMT here basically, or I mean definitely right here, but that's only consolidation, and since 930 we only extended higher. So that's the first really clean short and run-on stops to the downside as well. We traded into a 5-minute suspension block. That's our higher time frame PD area in that case, and yeah, basically with getting stopped, we know, okay, we can also look for longs. Stop should have been or must actually be below the invalidation point, but because we have such a volatile day, this would have been 75 handles. It's just way too much. So I had it, I think, below the wick of the candle right here. So I expect that the gap within the inversion fairway gap right here should get utilized as a breakaway gap, and because we are in really trending conditions higher, I expect that if we don't trade lower, if we have a clean setup in here within our 10 macro, then we should definitely basically target higher prices. In that case, I was looking at the buy side liquidity right here of the hourly wick. Looked really clean to me, and what also was the fact that we were right in advance of the upper quadrant of the of first day daily wick. So yeah, also like more a confirmation to me that we could trade to it, that we could trade or draw to it. And what also like convinced me that I wanted to hold for higher prices is the fact that we have the 25,900 level right here, so a clean price target, and therefore I basically put my stop really tight to it after we traded above it, and then got stopped right here. And I'm really content with that because we definitely had high resistance right here trading higher, and with that I ended up basically being up on the day around 100 bucks, and that's basically I think in that case 2 AR. So basically my first loss was minus 100, and I made back basically 200, so 100 in profit. I'm content with that. I don't really like continuation setups, or I mean, a clean continuation setup is actually okay to me, So because we most of the time do have a low resistance liquidity run, but I just don't like the daily conditions. So to me, I don't really like to buy basically overbought prices. It's not, I think it's just character, so a bit like personality traits. But yeah, that's just it. And I still learned something, so we should have been basically a bit more careful. Still, I really like the 5-minute fair value gap right here as my condition, and that's just trading.